then, some of my friends in this room will appreciate, because they at this point would start rolling their eyes as I said, hey, you know, I think you can run a grassroots issues-based campaign, and I start telling them my whole theory about how this works. So I started to understand that I saw the business guy, Deval Patrick, who started asking me questions, and the right questions about how do you, I get that, but how do you build it out? I can see you could run for city council, knock on every door, state rep, knock on every door. But how do you build out that infrastructure? The businessman comes out, operationalizing details. How do you do it? Is it possible? Digging deep. Of course, I had all kinds of ideas and theories. People have been subjected to that for years around here. I tell them all the stuff, and at the end of the conversation, I just said, I'm with you, man. I volunteer, I'll help you out. I'm going to call Nancy. I think you should do something at this crazy convention that's coming up in Lowell, because nobody's going to inspect it. I'll help her get organized. Got in my car. I said, well, what did you do? I swore to God I was not going to do this. I definitely did not tell my wife. She says, I didn't tell my office manager either, who, because I knew what the reaction would be. I've done this, I'm volunteering, I'm helping out, I'm only going to be a couple hours. So 3 days later, the phone rang, it's Deval Patrick. He said, John, it's Deval Patrick. I said, hi, Deval. He said, I'd like you to be my campaign manager. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you remember, I told you how busy I was. I got this time 11-year-old son, and I can't. He says, now I start seeing the next part of Deval Patrick, the salesman. He says to me, okay, how about this? I've got to go out of town for a couple days. Would you do me the courtesy of thinking about it, and we can get together next Saturday? Now listen, I sell insurance for a living. I can see the assumed close here. He's getting little yeses out of me, and he's leading me to the... But I thought that was impressive, so I said, all right, I'll think about it. And then for 3 days, it ate me alive about what an opportunity this was. And then I understood Deval Patrick, the salesman, when he closed the deal before he got off the phone. He says, I want to run the kind of campaign we talked about. So then I started thinking about the opportunity and what this guy was and what he stood for. And I believed him that he said he wanted to run a grassroots campaign and what it meant. And so I went and I told my wife. I told my office manager, who said to me, I thought you said you'd never do this again. So in my office, there's a couple of wonderful women that sit downstairs, and then me in the bathroom are on the second floor. So I ran up to my office and hid. About an hour later, she came to me and says, you never do any damn work when you're here anyway. What difference does it make? So that was the following Saturday. We got together, Deval and I said one question. I said, you met me for 1 hour. Is that how you make decisions? Will you drive me crazy if I take this job? He says, I'll give you a list of 40 people I checked you out with. I said, yep, you're on. I started on, that was the 29th, started April 4th, and he announced on April 14th officially, and it was just one wonderful ride from there. So I think the person that gets credit is Nancy Stolberg, who I suspect also was tweaking all the strings in the background to make sure that he got there, and he asked me, and then we got together. So I'm forever grateful for her. And Nancy, by the way, for those of you who got to know her and meet her in the campaign, is just, thank you very much. Nancy just accepted a position in the workforce development area of the Secretary of Labor. She's going to do a great job for the new administration. So.